everyone! This is Sang here.
And this is Chibun.
And you're listening to
Take 5 Podcast.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Take 5 Podcast. Hope you guys were doing well. I know it's been some time since we put up a new pod, but we have been so busy for the last couple of weeks. So we kind of apologize for that, but thank you so much for tuning in. So today's topic is going to be about mental health. Yes. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Miss Lino. Thank you, Lino, if you're listening to this.
Thank you so much.
We put up a questionnaire on Instagram and asked what kind of topic you want us to talk about, and we got this. So in the beginning, we were like so nervous and, you know.
We panicked a little bit.
Yeah, because this is a huge responsibility in a way, and it's a very broad topic. So we just wanted to make sure that we were on the right track speaking about this. So we decided to take our time a little bit to understand this, and so we did. And we're happy to be back.
And I'm also sure, like, for our daily listeners, that we always get personal with our past experiences and all that. So we wanted to make sure that we are in the right mood to talk about this topic.
Oh my god. Today we're gonna unravel a lot of dark.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to the dark past.
Dark here. Oh, and it's raining right now, so if there are any background noises, then we apologize.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Can't help it. But the mood is right though. To talk about our mental health. So what is mental health and what is mental illness?
So mental health is the overall emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act. Yeah. So it's like the general term, which is equivalent to the term physical health, which may either be good or bad, right? But when we have issues such as anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, etc., that's when it means that we have poor mental health and that we have got mental illness.
That's a very, because sometimes for me personally, I get confused with mental health and mental illness. So for me as well, when I did research on this, then I
learned to be more specific.
Yeah, then I learned about the differences between the two. Or else it was like very confusing. And also another thing was, I used to get confused about, I thought that this having schizophrenia, for example, or like what's another thing, OCD, and those things will come under, I did not know that it will come under mental health. I know this sounds silly, but I thought like when we talk about mental illness, or like when I'm asking a friend how is your mental health, I'm asking more about, okay, are you depressed or are you stressed or those stuff. But when it came to more serious stuff, I didn't know that it came under an umbrella of mental health.
We think that it's mental health is related more to the emotional aspect of it, but it has to do with our psychological and our social well-being as well. So say if you don't feel like socializing with people, that means you might have poor mental health as well. So,
Plus sometimes you can't even help it because there are chemical imbalances in your brain. So like you just can't help it because you're born that way. So you need like medicines and professional help. These are all the terms that we learned. So did you, I mean, we did, we're going to talk about our story. So let's talk about your story and then we'll talk about mine. So, what was it? What did you face and how did you come out of it?
So I'll talk about the impact that it had on me. Of course, even now there are days when I feel like I have bad mental health, but it does not last for a week or like months. Because I think it's the impact that matters, right? But a few years back, I had really poor mental health, and I realized that was the worst phase of my life because the impact was so much wider. It affected like every part of my being. I would lose my focus, just zone out. Even though I'm physically there, like in the class, mentally I was somewhere else. I was very lost in my own emotions. I felt like I was drowning in the pool of my own emotions. I would lose my interest in things that I would usually enjoy. And I used to be really like easily tired. And I often found myself repeating like tasks, doing the same things over and over again because I was like I said, I was overthinking things and I was just lost there, right? In like other side of the world. And I would have dramatic mood changes as well. One time I would be really like giggling and I would be bubbly, and the other, just few seconds later, I would, you know, be moody and I would be angry and stuff like that. Like everything was on its extreme. And I was not sleeping well, or neither I was eating well. So, if I look back at my old pictures, like the differences is so wide. The way how I look now and the way how I looked before, it's just different changes? Because the glow is like gone. My eyes deep, and you can just tell, like even if I was smiling in the picture, just I don't know, it just gives me a different feeling when I look at it now. And even like my old personal diaries, I don't think I would have been able to reread them before, like when I was going through, you know, that issue. But now it's easier to talk about it since I've healed from it. So yeah, it was rough that time. It was really rough.
But one thing about when a person is going through mental health, unless that person comes out and talks about it, the others, they are not able to see it. Did you go through things like that? Like you knew on the inside it was like a storm, but your friends did not see it. Like they saw you as just normal functioning human.
Exactly.
And only you know what's going on inside that brain.
Also because I'm super good at hiding it.
Exactly, right? Plus you're so good in hiding it, so
hiding my emotions, and I could be feeling a different kind of way, but I would be displaying a different kind of like a different person.
That's the tricky part about mental illness, because unlike physical illness, you cannot see it unless you talk about it. So yeah.
What about you?
Mine was many years ago. So I had really bad mental health, as in, you know what, it's so funny because I didn't even know that I was suffering from mental illness issues. And if I look back at it, I've never been diagnosed, but I feel like I may have had PTSD. And because I used to have nightmares and I used to have panic attack. So, you know, I had faced events in my life and, you know, some traumatic experiences. And after that, I used to have nightmares every twice a week. And I would have panic attacks every twice a week when I sleep. So I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling breathless. Like,
oh my God.
Even if there was, whenever I felt a small cloth or blanket or, you know, sheet or sheet of cloth or whatever, on my face, on my face, it would just suffocate me. Even though it's not as suffocating, it's just, you know, lying there, just brushing your nose or something like that, but it would just suffocate me. And also I would have nightmares like something is chasing me or something is there's an evil presence or something like that. And in fact, I just felt like it's normal part of me. I just thought that. And I never saw it in a perspective of mental illness thing. But after I, you know, healed from my journey, that part also disappeared.
Wow.
So it's been very long since I have had panic attacks. But sometimes when I'm stressed out with normal stress with life and work, I do get, you know, nightmares, which is normal,
I think
right?
that is normal.
Yeah, that's very normal. But I've not had panic attack since that time. So yeah. And the thing is, I suffered. And thing is, unlike you, like, your problem was, you were carrying that even during daytime, right? Even during the day, you were zoned out or like, you know, with your friends or things like that. But for me, it was only happening at night. So it was like, I was like, I didn't even know that, you know, I was going through something. I just felt like, I just thought that it's normal. And I just had this recent revelation that I had mental illness problem.
Were the nightmares based on the same lines?
No.
You see the same people? Or...
No. It was just the evil presence there and something's chasing me or something's, you know, in my room and something like that. It was never that one thing. But it was very scary, of course. I would wake up feeling scared and I would try to wake somebody up if I would share a bed with someone, and I would try to wake them up, but I could not move. My body would be stiff. You know that feeling, right?
Yes, yes.
I used to
sleep
have
paralysis.
That. Yeah. Sleep paralysis. I used to have that, once or twice a week.
Oh my god,
that was so stressful.
I just cannot.
Yeah, it was very stressful.
So do you think it's because were you thinking about your past experiences like in the nighttime?
No, I did not. And the funny is, I did not link that those past experiences were giving me those
You were not aware.
issues. I was not aware at all. It's just I recently kind of realized that that was because after I healed from my journey, those things have faded away.
Wow. But I'm glad you're here though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
fine.
Thank you. I'm glad you are fine too.
Yeah.
So what did you do to come out of that phase of life?
So I was just tired of being in that phase. It went on for, I think, 3 to 4 months. It was during the festive season, and right, we were out there, like we went for vacation.
Yeah.
And I thought that if I put myself in a different environment, maybe that would help me, maybe that would distract me, and I would start feeling better. But even though we did that, I was still feeling shitty inside. Yeah, I was still not over it. And we came back like to Dimapur, and then the classes began and all that. And I realized that I was still not fine, and I just wanted to get myself out of that space because it was draining me physically, emotionally, like in all aspects of my life.
Yeah.
So
And you carried that for so long.
I carried that for a really long time.
Yeah.
So I just thought of myself as a blank like canvas, and I wanted to be painted differently with new mindset. I wanted to wake up feeling grateful and excited to just start life. Yeah. And I think the pandemic sort of helped me as well. I mean, I know it was a really bad time for a lot of us, all of us, but somehow it changed me in a way that I began to value my life more than I did before. And I started feeling more grateful about living and about seeing people that I love every day, like my family and my friends. So I think that's how, I don't know, eventually with time, I just push myself to get better. And I just did not want to give up on myself anymore. And I chose to like see things from a better perspective, from a more positive perspective. And the first practical thing that I did was I talked about it with you. I talked about it with my friends.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I felt so light. It felt good. It felt like the balloon just like
popped.
someone popped, and then I just bursted like all of my emotions.
Yeah.
It felt really good, and I just started being more mindful about whatever I surround myself with. Like being someone who is sensitive to energies. I started disliking all the songs that drained me, like on my playlist, like on Spotify. And I started listening to songs that make me feel better.
Yeah.
So little things like that, I think it helped me. I mean, right now when I talk about it, it sounds like really how do I say it?
Silly?
Yeah, it might sound kind of silly, but when I was going through that, it sounds really minor right now.
Yeah.
It does not sound as heavy as what I went through before.
Yeah.
But back then it was different. I mean, if I gave into that, if I chose to just give into that, I think I wouldn't have been here today. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you said about as minor as songs, like being mindful of what you're listening to, because that is
I know, right?
that is something that we don't even care about most of the time. We're just, okay, you know what, I'm just listening.
It's just music.
It's just a song, right? We just think that, but somehow when you are mentally and emotionally vulnerable, whatever you do, it could be a song, it could be a friend, it could be social media, whatever you're consuming, it kind of impacts you in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that you said that.
Yeah. Because like we say, what we eat affects our physical body. So just like that, what we take in,
What we consume.
yeah, what we surround ourselves with, it affects our mind.
Our mind and our soul.
So we gotta be really careful with
Yeah,
that.
that's wow, that's really nice. I'm learning so many even right now. It's about it.
And I started eating well and sleeping well. Because I used to sleep around 3, 4, and I would wake up at 7 and have just some breakfast or sometimes just water, and I would go for my class.
And you were a university student, so think about all the workload that you used to have.
So heavy. Everything was so heavy. Why is everything so heavy? I just remember that song right now.
So, in a way, you forced yourself to get out of that situation, right? You had to force yourself.
Yeah. Sounds cliche, but you gotta be your own hero sometimes.
You have to be. There's no way around.
Because no one else can feel as much as you're feeling. I mean, no one can understand the depth of it as much as you do.
Yeah.
So you know better for yourself how to get yourself out of there. So just get your ass out of that.
When you told me whatever you're going through, I did not realize how much you were going through. So, no matter how much people love you, you have your loved ones around you, at the end of the day, it's like, it takes a lot of strength.
Yeah,
it will take a lot of strength.
Yes.
And you cannot be waiting for anyone to come save you. Not even your loved ones can come save you sometimes. You just have to save yourself no matter what. You just cannot be there in that hole, you know. I'm so proud of you.
And the void gets bigger and bigger
and darker. Yeah. I'm so proud that you mustered up all the strength to, you were like, I ain't doing this shit no more.
I ain't doing this shit. I'm the friggin' Bahubali. So yeah.
I'm so happy.
What about you?
For me, it was we were not together that time.
We were not,
so
yes.
I did not have the luxury to not luxury. I'm sorry, it sounds bad. I did not have the opportunity or the chance to talk with you or with anyone else. So I did what anyone in their most lonely state would do. I journaled.
But it helps.
It really did.
It helps a lot.
It really did. I journaled that shit, and I don't want to sound spiritual and stuff. It's all, but you know what? It's for me. This is my journey, and this is how it helped me. So I journaled it, and I just got down on my knees because I was so tired. I had carried the chain, those chains for so long. I was tired, and I said to God that I cannot carry this anymore. I prayed to God that, please, God, break me of the chains of my past. I just broke down on the floor, and then I prayed, and I had tears coming out. But I did not had this, out of the world experience, as in a light coming in and telling me, my daughter, you're fine.
Like divine revelation.
Yeah, I did not had anything like that. It was very normal. It was just me in the room, but I felt very light in the end. It was like I needed someone to hear me. I just wanted to let it out. I had collected it and kept it inside me for so long. I just wanted to let it out somehow, anyhow. I had to, right? I had no choice. So that's what I did. And after that day, it was not like the next day I woke up and everything was sunshine and flowers blooming and butterflies and things like that. But it has been a day-to-day, year-to-year journey. And I'm here, and I'm very much healed from that, and I've grown and I've learned a lot. So yeah, I'm here. So whatever you do to come out of the situation, whatever you do is subjective for everyone. Sometimes talking to someone helps. Sometimes if you don't have anyone to talk to, like I did, journaling maybe, or therapy. Just let it out. Yeah. You need an outlet. That's
it. Don't bottle it up.
So that helps. That's the only thing that will help. And sometimes you may need professional help, that too, right? So whatever it is, mental health is something that you cannot fight on your own. That's what I have learned from my experience anyway. Even right now, sometimes when I go through something, I tell it to you, right? Or I write it down. So I never think to myself, hey, you know what? These thoughts are there, so it's okay. I'll be fine. After half an hour, I'll be fine I'll be fine next morning. It's never like that. I have to let it out, and only after I've done that, I feel better. So yeah, that's what works for me. These are some of the things that, you know, we go through at the normal general. Most of us go through these things, but again, there are some cases where it gets extreme, right? So say for example, bipolar disorder. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain. So you were born like that. So there's no other way for you to restore the chemical balance other than taking medications and taking professional help. And also, example, schizophrenia.
And also, I know that there are people who struggle with suicidal thoughts. And I just want to tell you guys that whatever you're going through, this is not permanent. Just as the good times are not here forever, even the bad times won't last.
Yeah.
So just talk it out, find a trusted friend.
Yeah.
Or find, I don't know, any way, however it helps you. But just find a way to let out what you're going through. And don't give up on yourself.
Don't give up, yeah. Hold on. Hold on to life. I know life can be really hard sometimes, and life can be unfair. But also life can be beautiful. So if you can just hold on a little bit longer, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's easy for people to say everything will be all right, and you know what, I don't want to be that person actually who says, you know what, everything will be okay. I don't want to be that. But then again, I don't want you to give up.
Yeah. Get your power back. You never know. See, we live our lives like just like that on the daily.
Yeah.
But the impact that we make on people, you may not be like Jay Shetty or whoever, like some international public figure or something, but the impact that we make on people that we see daily, I think those things really matter, and we don't give a shit about it often, right?
Yeah.
When we're living life.
Yeah. We don't even realize that we have made an impact. Because the people, they are the ones looking at us and observing us, and sometimes we never get told that how much they mean to us, how much we mean to them. We never get told, so we think like, okay, my life is meaningless. But there is people, one out there. It doesn't have to be thousands of people, but there will be someone out there who is a blessing because of you, who feels blessed.
Of course.
When you were going through what you were going through, did you feel like, you know, this is going forever, and you know?
Yeah, why not? I felt so stuck. I felt so stuck. I don't know how should I even explain this, but I felt like I will just lose myself. I never imagined that I would come back to this person that I am. I just thought I had lost her. And even if I continue to live my life, I would be a different person. And I don't know, I was just scared of how I would turn out to be. But I guess somehow with time, the person that you're meant to be, I guess you just come back to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you push yourself. You force yourself to get well.
It did take a lot. Even now, I won't say that I've completely like healed from it. Like it's completely erased. I won't say that, to be honest. Sometimes it comes back and I fight it. Yeah. So everyone, I think we all deal with our own battles and we all have our own stories, right? So at the end of the day, we gotta be kind.
Yeah.
Just nice to each other.
This is something that we will face till we die. Just like our body. Until we die, there will be times when we get sick. Right? So obviously, there will be times when you feel low mentally.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just because I know it's very hard for me to talk about this thing, but because you feel low does not mean that you need to end your life then and there.
Yeah.
It's just like, you get a cut in your hand, or you get a cut in your body, or you get fever. We seek help during that time. We are not like, okay, you know what? Let me kill myself.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever, as hard as it is, whatever you're going through, whatever we are going through, ending our life is not the solution. It's never the solution. So here, what we need to understand is to seek help. That is one thing that I learned in my journey. I always thought that I could fight it on my own, and I kept it in for so long.
I didn't even know about it for a long period of time.
Exactly, right? That's what mental health is, right? Mental illness is that person looks so normal, but the internal struggle, only that person knows, right?
Yeah.
So
it's bigger in your head.
It's so much. And from the time I was a teen till the time I was in my early 20s, I really, really struggled during that time. I really did. And I mean, I know I said that, I know it was mostly nighttime, but I remember even when I would be with my friends or I would be on my own doing something, like those flashbacks would come and I would just be like, I would just go numb and I would zone out. And I would be laughing about a joke. I'll be, smiling or talking, and it would just, those flashbacks would come at the most unexpected times, and it would just take me away from that space, from that environment, from that moment, and I would just zone out to a whole different dark space, and I would just feel, my smile would go away, and what the train of thought would go away, so it was, I struggled a lot, but I'm so glad that one way or the other I came out of it. So anyone listening to this and you're thinking like your life feels as if this will go on forever, I promise you that it will not. It will not go on forever, if you let it, that is. If you decide to stop this, if you decide to, and I hope that you do, to put a stop in whatever you're going through, you can. And do whatever you have to do, but don't do it alone. It's what my advice would be.
And also, I just wanted to mention that I know we are not professionals or we are not therapists or counselors, like in any way.
Yeah.
But you can always reach out to us.
Yeah.
We would be happy to hear a story and give you our time. So just reach out to us, DM us, or even for friends who have our numbers, just call us up or like WhatsApp us. Yeah, just reach out to us and we would be happy to just listen to you.
Yeah.
We'll listen to you.
We'll be there for you. This topic is so important, and you need to really mentally prepare yourself as well to talk about this thing. Because for me, I feel responsible as a friend. I feel responsible as a sister, or any other figure to anyone who is going through these times, going through these hard times. And I really understand, because I've been through, you have been through, we really understand what you're going through. So we just want to make sure that we are not just talking about it, but we are somehow helping you a bit, maybe.
Yeah, it is a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
There's so much that I feel, but it's so hard to put it into words. Today I feel so poor with my words because I think it has to do with the topic.
Yeah.
It feels like a huge bomb.
Yeah. So just take care of yourself, please, and seek help however you can. Whatever you need to do. Maybe like Chipan said, music helped her in a bit, right? And eating well, sleeping well, journal, talking out with a friend, seeking professional help, going to therapy, going to a doctor, going to a counselor, praying about it. Whatever it is, seek help. That's the advice for today. So thank you so much for listening to us today. We hope that you start feeling better, and like we mentioned,
do seek help.
Yeah.
All right, and reach out to us.
Yeah.
And on another note, we also have posted a new blog yesterday. So for friends who have not checked it out, go and check it out. It's something new. I mean, we have not done on fiction and based on romance, right?
Yeah.
So for the first time, we have mentioned a man and like, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a new genre. So go and check it out and let us know how you feel about it.
Yeah, the details will be on our Instagram page. So hope that, it will be something of your liking. Drop down a comment if you liked it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, keep yourself moisturized, drink lots of water,
sleep
use
well.
Sunscreen.
Eat well, yes,
Eat well
it's summer.
and sleep well.
Use a lot of sunscreen. And we give you all our love. If you can feel it, we are trying to radiate it through the microphone.
Yeah.
All our love. And
If only we could all sit down together and
Yeah.
talk about things.
Yeah,
That
really.
would have been really nice. Maybe someday.
Yes. We are giving you hugs right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so feel the hug in our life. So alright then, guys, take care. Bye.